Okay, Hunter, we're live.
Very good. Thank you, Rick. My name is Hunter Morrison. I'm the planning consultant for the City of Youngstown, and this is a virtual meeting of the Board of Zoning Appeals and City Planning Commission being held on Tuesday, March 16th, 2021 at 1:30 via Zoom to consider several cases before the Board of Zoning Appeals and the Planning Commission. This meeting is being archived on YouTube and will be available for review. We do not have our court reporter here today. The court record will be created from the record of this meeting, so I urge everyone to be clear about their name, spelling of their name, so that the reporter will be able to create the record. I will be Nikki Posterly will be swearing the members in. We have a quorum. The first item of business is the Board of Zoning Appeals. Case number 21-05, the applicant Michael Cohn requests to operate a construction company on a vacant land and property located at 2310 and 2320 Mahoning Avenue. I will be testifying as a member of staff, so I'm going to ask that the director of the department, Nikki Posterly, take the meeting over at this point and swear the members in and run this section of the meeting. Ms. Posterly.
Thank you, Hunter. Anyone wishing to speak on behalf of case number 2105, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're going to present today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
I do.
Is Mr. Cohen on the line? Is anyone on the line to represent Mr. Cohen in a property on Mahoning Avenue? I suggest we move forward with the testimony and notify him by writing. Did he receive, Jaleesa, Robin, did Mr. Cohen receive notification of the meeting? Jaleesa or Robin, did Mr. Cohen receive notification of today's meeting?
Yes, he did.
Thank you. Mr. Morrison, did you want to testify first?
Yes, Madam Chair. This case is a case of a industrial use in a retail district. You'll note that the case description speaks to there being no construction business use in the code, and I would like to correct that that reference in this testimony and make it clear that this is a very clear case of the right use in the wrong place. The applicant presented an application for a zoning permit, which was received on July 13th, 2020. With the intended use being to use the property as a construction lot. These are two properties facing Mahoning Avenue. And you have also before you the not only the permit application, but the graphics which show the location of this property on Mahoning Avenue between Hartford, South Hartford, or North Hartford and North Brockway. You'll see photographs in a few minutes of the site in question, but in researching this further, the code is very specific about the type of use that is proposed by Mr. Cohn, or is actually being in operation by Mr. Cohn at the present time. In the definitions section of the code, chapter 1106.03, speaks to contractor shop and storage yard. and further defines this as a building or related outdoor areas used to store and maintain construction equipment and other materials and facilities customarily required in the building trade by a construction contractor. This use may include showrooms and shops for the display of sales of electrical, plumbing, heating, air conditioning, sheet metal, and other materials in connection with a contracting service. You will see from the photographs, and I believe it's very clear that this use, Mr. Cohn is using this as a building and related outdoor area for the store and maintain construction equipment and other materials and facilities customarily required in the building trade by a construction contractor. Question is whether this is a permitted use in a mixed-use commercial district, which is the current zoning along Mahoning Avenue. And as we refer to Chapter 1103.01, permitted use table, the tables list contractor shop and storage yard as a permitted use in a green industrial or unrestricted industrial district. It does not list it as a permitted or conditional use in a mixed-use commercial district. So our belief, as and you'll see from photographs that Mr. Cretion will present, our belief is that this is an industrial use inappropriate to a mixed-use commercial district and should be denied. If Mr. Cohn were here, I would also make the point that this is a use that can find a location elsewhere in the city in an industrial green or unrestricted industrial district, and our economic development staff would be, I'm glad to work with him to find an appropriate location, but this is not the right location. And as we know, good planning, good land use planning involves putting the right thing in the right place at the right time. Well, this is not the right place for this particular use. There are other places in the city of Youngstown that use could be placed, and so we're recommending to the board that this matter be denied as an inappropriate to Mahoning Avenue. I want to turn this over to Nick Cretion from the Economic Action Group, who's also working with the city, and to testify both to the studies that have been done on Mahoning Avenue about the importance of this corridor, and also to show photographs that he has taken of this particular site. Mr. Cretion.
Sure. So I sent the photos to Rick earlier, and I would also like to say I'm a resident of the West Side and a member of the Rocky Ridge Neighborhood Association too. So I'm very familiar with the neighborhood, but just went by this morning for the purpose of this meeting to take photos just to see the current conditions. Just wanted to make sure we had the most up-to-date photos to reference for this purpose, because we were looking at Google Street View, which was a little outdated at the last meeting. And Rick has the photos, but the condition kind of speaks for itself in terms of it looking, as Hunter said, primarily like an industrial use, which is not permitted along commercial corridors at this point in time.
Rick, can you post the photos, please? While he's doing that, Nick, did you have anything additional you wanted to add?
I would just talk to what I saw in the photos, but at this point in time, I don't think I have much more to say other than that.
Okay. Once we get the photos up, we can circle back to you. Mike Durkin?
Yes.
Your testimony, please.
Okay. So the property has been in code enforcement for some time. We have written 3 quality of life tickets in succession, 16 days, no more than 16 days apart. And the property is just incomplete. There are chickens on the properties also. I know we were dealing with that issue. The property itself is just under complete disrepair. It's, it's on our main corridor. We have dealt with it to no avail. They have not worked with us to try and get anything done. The one property does have code enforcement on the structure itself. And we did also go out this morning, had our zoning officer do notices of violation in regards to taking updated pictures. And the property itself is, if you will, we will be able to send a full attachment of pictures to the board members. I'm not sure if it'll get on for this meeting or not. We were trying to do that ahead of time. I know there's a lot to have Rick put on a screen. But you know, this property has been, and it's not just the property itself that's affecting. There's, you know, a doctor's office next door that's been there for quite some time. There's a drive-through, and all these folks try to keep their properties clean and neat. And, you know, when they pull in, they have to look at this every time they go into the office or go to a drive-through. And it's been this way for a long time, and we just need to do something. And we, you know, whatever the board recommends, we will deal with it. However, you know, we are looking forward to moving this process forward. We've done everything we can as far as code enforcement. We've done everything we can as far as quality of life issues. So we are going to move forward with our process if nothing gets rectified here.
Thank you, Mr. Durkin. Rick is having technical difficulties. Nick, do you have the capabilities to screen share those photos?
1 minute and I will be able to, yes.
Was there any further testimony on this case? Any questions from the board? Questions from any council members?
This is Councilman Ray.
You have the floor.
I just believe that the case speaks for itself based on the testimony from the folks in the administration and the information presented. They have it, and they voiced the concerns of the citizens that have been bringing up to me with the surrounding businesses, that the problem with this being a persistent problem. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Councilman.
You can still share the photos if you would like, but screen sharing is disabled for me.
Okay. It looks like Rick's back on. Okay, try Nick.
Good. So Nick, can you tell us what we're looking at?
Sure. This is looking north across the street on Mahoning Avenue. Just took a few angles from the west, middle, and east side of the properties. Looking into the fence, you can see that there is still the industrial use, different mixture of activities taking place behind that fence. Front straight on, across the street, and next door.
Mike, while we have those photographs up, Mr. Cohn owns both houses and the lot in between. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And the code enforcement issues are on both houses or one or the other?
There was code enforcement on both. One is okay. The one, which would be the gray house that you're looking at from the front view there, is still in code enforcement.
And now that's at 2310. Is that also a rental property?
No, they live in those properties.
Okay. But the issue is still an open case on 2301.
2310.
2310.
Any other questions?
Chair, that concludes our testimony.
Thank you, Hunter. Any other questions from board members? Any questions or comments from the audience regarding this case? I'd like to entertain a motion.
I'll make the motion on case 2105 to deny the request.
I second.
Motion made by John Swires and second by Marguerite Douglas. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, Hunter, you're back on.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I will resume the running of the meeting, and this is the Planning Commission. Reference number 0421, ordinance 21-56. It's a request by Vincent Dinzio to change the zoning classification of city lots 25878 and 25879 and 25880 from RS 7.2 single-family residential to mixed-use community. The property is located on 3112 Powers Way. Mr. Dinzio, are you here to testify on this matter? You're muted. Can you unmute? Okay, very, very good. Thank you. Tell us what you're doing and why you need a zoning change.
I want to take the property at 3112 Powers Way. It joins Pine Hollow, and I would like to put up a distributing plant for Mr. B's barbecue sauce, which that was my father standing next to me. He started Mr. B's barbecue sauce a while back in the 70s. And I'd like to bring the sauce back first and then go from there. So I need to build a plant there at the facility, at my lots, which the next building next to me is the 31 Club, which they sell beer, food. It's a private club. And the next building next to that, that meets Sheridan, is already commercial also. So I'm the last 3 lots that is not zone commercial. So that's why I presented it to the zoning board. I think it'd be a great location to put the building and start distributing.
So your property is in a single family zone. The rest of the properties on the street are also on that side of Powers Way are also on a single family zone. And across the street is an industrial green zone.
Correct.
And you're testifying to us that the other uses on the street, one's a social club and what is the other 31?
The guy who owns, it's a phone company. He uses it as his office when he's in town, but from what I was told from the 31 Club, Kenny, that was also zoned already commercial, but I could be wrong. Is it or isn't it?
No, it's not zoned commercial.
Oh, it's not just 31 Club then?
Okay. None of the properties are zoned commercial. There may be variances, but.
I see what you're saying, sir.
Yeah. And you have Rick, there's a picture of Mr. Dinzio supplied also of the, how you intend to use this. Are you going to use the existing house for the commercial use?
The existing house at the present time, I think would be great for the office to start. And then, if we have the money, of course, just build on the building and use that maybe as a storage facility or whatever. So I don't have to build another one. Try to use just the plant that we're building as a distributing plant. I don't want to go so big that it pisses the neighbors off, excuse my language. It aggravates the neighbors, even though I only have the neighbor behind me and Mike Mraz. That's pretty much about it, because across the street on the other side of Pine Hollow is all woods. And like you said, when I look over the top of my house into across over to Camel, that's all industrial.
Yes. This is the case where the staff has while this is a spot zone, and we have a reluctance to recommend spot zones. I think this is a case where the existing uses are commercial in nature, not residential, along this section of Powers Way. And from a staff perspective, we recommend that this case be approved, subject to or under condition that the council consider rezoning that whole block front. Rick, can you bring that map up again?
Mr. Chairman, while he's bringing that up, the gentleman was difficult to hear in the beginning. What is he doing at that site?
Can you explain to the board member?
I want to build a facility and just distributing plant facility to distribute my dad's Mr. V's barbecue sauce. He finally gave me the rights after 32 years to go ahead and move forward. I've been asking him for that long. So at this point in time, when he gave me it, is immediately when I didn't propose it to the zoning department, and I'm moving forward.
Sounds like you've been working this case for a long time, sir.
Yes.
To the members of the commission, as you can see, the subject property 3112 is outlined in blue. The other properties to the south are the social club and the other house that is, according to Mr. Dinzio's testimony, used for commercial use. My recommendation would be that we recommend to the council approval of this on the condition that that the council consider rezoning the entire block face from Sheridan to Pine Hollow with appropriate, that would provide for appropriate buffering from the residential, but this is not likely to be a residential stretch in this point. So that would be our recommendation. Is there anyone else who wishes to, any questions first from the members of the commission? Is there anyone who wishes to testify on this matter in the audience? Well, hearing none, I would entertain a motion.
I will make a motion to grant approval subject to council's action.
And the action in question, Mr. Limbian, would be the consideration of a more comprehensive rezoning of that block face?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second it. It's Patricia Sveth.
Ms. Sveth, thank you very much. Patricia? It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Opposed?
No, no.
Mr. Swires is opposing?
Right.
Motion carries. The third item on the agenda is reference number 05-21. Request by Alex Zordich to change the zone classification of the Youngstown City lots 14258, 14259, and 14260 from RM 1.0 multifamily to mixed use commercial, MUC. The property in question is located at 252 and 254 Valley Drive in Smoky Hollow on the campus of Youngstown State University. You see in this picture the area in question is zoned for two-family residential. These are two lots in the middle of that area. What is not shown on this, two things of relevance to the discussion today. The land to the northeast and west and to the south of this property is owned by Youngstown State University. This is part of the Youngstown State University campus and subject to their plan, long-range plan, should they decide to exercise their rights to further acquisition. The land in question, with the exception of houses to the immediately to the east, the vacant lots in question, the lots in question that Youngstown State owns are vacant. And this is also in an area where there's some campus serving retail, particularly the MVR and Noble Creature. So this is a very special case from that perspective. Could be considered a spot zone, but the fact that that's part of the Youngstown State University campus makes it somewhat special. And I believe Ms. Bosley, you've heard from from Youngstown State as well.
Through the chair, yes, I did receive a verbal confirmation from YSU today. They were not able to have a representative present at the meeting, but they do not oppose to this project.
And thank you. Mr. Zordich, are you here to tell us what the project is you have in mind for your property?
Yes, sir, I am. Thank you. So what I intend to do with the property, I have spent the last 7 years traveling. I specialize in wine and food, Italian. I've traveled all across Italy and lived over in Napa Valley. And I really like what's going on with Youngstown. I'm a Youngstown guy. I have a lot of pride, a lot of passion with Youngstown. I love everything we're doing, and I just simply want to be a part of it. So I moved back and I'm just starting my business. And with the realization that I can be anywhere in Youngstown commercially, and I know there's a lot of spaces already available, but this particular spot is very special to me. My entire family is from there. So they all immigrated over there. My grandma was born in the backyard of this property. My whole family lived on Emerald. I'm real passionate about preserving historical areas in Youngstown. Smoky Hollow is really important to a lot of people in town. You always hear stories about it, and I kind of want to embrace that and carry the tradition, and that's what I intend to do with this spot.
So you carry on the tradition the Cassis family have of staying in the neighborhood, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Actually, my great grandfather William Butchie had a butcher shop directly across the street from the MBR back in the day. So that's what I intend to do.
Very good. And I understand you have some renderings that you could share with us, or some other drawings.
Yes, I believe Nick has those renderings. Yes.
So can you tell us what we're seeing?
Yes. So this is the house, and what I intend to do, just kind of turn it into a garage winery concept, very traditional Italian. Just a place for people to kind of feel like they're back in the time and enjoy it on the outside, have a little bar area inside, and just a nice little communal spot.
Were you also proposing to make pizza in the place?
Yes. So I have.
I think I'd heard that.
Yes, sir. I have a pizza. Excuse me. I have a pizza shop in Cornersburg, and I intend to have the same menu down there, and people can. I'll have meat and cheese boards. I'll have private dinners available, from pastas to meats and all that, and specializing in wine as well.
Wonderful. Well, there's a long history, as you know, much far better than I, of the communal pizza oven down in Smoky Hollow. So,
absolutely.
Thank you. Is there anything else you would like to share with us?
No, sir.
Are there questions or comments from members of the board? If there are no questions, again, our recommendation would be to approve this as there's while it is technically a spot zone, it's in a unique situation given the fact that it's on the Youngstown State campus, and Youngstown State has indicated at this point no objection to this particular use, and it's consistent with the other remaining retail restaurant uses that are serving the Smoky Hollow and student campus community.
Hunter?
Yes.
Councilman Oliver.
Councilman Oliver, yes.
I just had a comment to make if I could.
Of course.
Yeah, I'm definitely in favor of this project. I've been working with Mr. Zordis for quite some time. He's been very patient. I'm always in favor of another entrepreneur opening up business in Youngstown, particularly in the first ward. So I just wanted to say I didn't have any opposition to this project at all.
Sounds like you're really in support of it.
I really am.
Okay, well, that a positive affirmation like that is important.
Thank you, Hunter.
Are there any other questions or comments from members of the board? If not, I'd entertain a motion.
I'd be happy to make a motion.
Mr. Chairman?
Go ahead.
Mr. Limbian.
I think the mayor was actually, I was going to do it.
No.
The mayor would like to speak.
Mayor Brown.
I make a motion to approve the request under reference number 0521.
It's been moved. Is there a second?
Yes, I'll second it.
Mr. Limbian, it's been moved. Thank you, Mr. Limbian. It's been moved and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Zordich. We're all looking forward to your new restaurant.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to getting it done.
What's your schedule, by the way?
At the current shop that I have,
No, what is your schedule to, what's your plan for completion, for doing this work?
I would like to get this opened as soon as this year. So I already have some things planned that can get the ball rolling. So I intend to open it as soon as possible.
Well, I think the next step is to take this matter to the council, and Councilman Oliver is sponsoring. So we and the administration will be working with you in whatever capacity to make this happen.
I appreciate it.
So thank you very much.
Thank you
very much. The third case is reference number 0121. This was a case we previously heard and tabled for the conditional use of non-domesticated animals, presented by Tricia Davignon on her property at 29 Wilma Avenue in an R single-family residential zoning district. Ms. Davignon has withdrawn the case. Councilman Davis has indicated that it is her intention to work with her fellow council persons to address the issue of domesticated animals, as we have several other cases pending. And as you know, the code requires that there's a specific council sign-off. So it's my expectation that Councilman Davis and her colleagues will give this commission some clarity as to where they would actually be supportive of chickens and other domestic, non-domestic animals, and where they wouldn't, because right now we're spending a lot of time on this issue, only to find that in some neighborhoods and council persons in question deem the use inappropriate and would not support it. So getting clarity is important. That being said, this matter is withdrawn. That's the last issue before the Planning Commission. That being said, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Squires has made a motion. Second.
Second.
Mr. Brown, Mayor Brown. Okay. The meeting is adjourned.